Good morning. Happy Thursday, gang. What is going on? All right, real quick on news. I'm pretty sure everything already came out at 8:30, about an hour ago. Yep, we just have U.S.-Iran negotiations, it says, going on all day. So that's kind of been the market conditions to be aware of, obviously. News-driven market right now. And then there's a Trump cabinet meeting later today, but no more like data releases, just being aware of the U.S.-Iran negotiations all day. Tomorrow we have CPI, so that could be a big one at 8:30, an hour before market opens. And then factory orders and Michigan sentiment. All right, let's take a look at what we got. So this green level I actually drew up and shared in Discord last night. I was saying if we are staying bullish, this is the level I would expect to hold. If you look at the higher time frame, it was just a value area low from yesterday, and then there was lots of consolidation at that level. So far it's holding. Excuse me. So far it's holding. And then if it does hold, upside target would be value area high, previous day high, and then this red resistance area up here around 350s, 25 350s. But if we are going to retrace this big move from Sunday night, I would expect it to come back down to somewhere around this higher time frame support, like 25 600-ish. This is a support level on like the 4 hour that I have marked off, and then we also have our weekly VWAP down here at 24 550. But I mean, so far it's bullish, it's holding. I guess it's just a matter of how things open up this morning. So we shall see. Gold is looking pretty good. So I have an anchored VWAP on this high, recent high. And that's kind of where we're chopping around right now. But we had this nice little consolidation zone. It's almost like it was establishing a foundation right there, and then it moved out of that. So if it came back down and retested this area where that consolidation was pre-market, which is also where VWAP is and a higher time frame support, I wouldn't be opposed to taking a long there if that looks good, like 47.40s, somewhere around there. So I'll be watching for that. If we get a little pullback to this, you can see this like chop zone right here, kind of the same as this gray zone that I already had. So pull back to there, maybe long on gold. And then NQ, honestly, just going to see how the market opens. It's scary to like long from up here because we have that huge move from Sunday night. But it's looking bullish. One observation I was looking at is London on NQ broke the Asia high. So London swept the Asia high on NQ. It did not on ES. So this is Asia high on ES. London high is like right here. So that's something to be aware of. Could mean that we're gonna go higher. Oops, that's not Asia high, that's London high. So don't know exactly what that means, but just something to be aware of. Like if we have a bullish move out of the open and ES comes and sweeps Asia high, that could mean the NQ goes up a little bit. But for now, we're kind of just stuck in this range. We had that huge move up. What was that, Monday morning? No, Tuesday morning. Tuesday, I don't know. Whenever that was. I don't know what day it is. It's been a crazy week for me. So those are my thoughts, you guys. NQ, really just going to stay patient and see if it gets out of this choppy range that we've been in. Gold, see if we get a pullback to like 47.40s for a possible long. And then ES, just watching to see if it ends up sweeping the Asia high like NQ did already. Let's make some money, guys. Practice some patience. Good morning, good morning. How's everyone in the chat doing? You guys having a good week so far? It's been a tough couple weeks of trading. Just having it be what feels like a news-driven market. I don't like to blame losses on news. If you guys watch my videos, I talk a lot about extreme ownership, which I think is important. Like, if you have the mindset of like, oh, Trump made me lose that trade, or like, oh, I only lost that one because they started talking about Iran news, then I don't think you're ever going to be successful as a trader. If you're always blaming your losses on something else. Like, yes, I agree that it's harder right now. You can definitely get wicked out more, but you also have control over your risk management and sizing down and maybe adjusting and having a bigger stop loss or not taking a trade. So, yes, it's harder, but still possible to make money. Mark, doing well. First time in the chat. I love it. Long time lurker. First time chatter. Good morning, good morning. You like my hat? That's what you need to do? Every day. Every day. Managing self is the hardest part. Yep. Agreed. All right, we got the market open in about a little over a minute and a half. Show how I marked resistance on the 4 hour. You ended up with other lines. Well, that's the thing about support and resistance, honestly, is it's very subjective. There's so many different ways to mark it. Like, you could just zoom out to the 4 hour and eyeball it based on where you see a bunch of candles bouncing from or rejecting from. I use the visible range volume profile, VRVP, and I zoom out as far as I can go. Like, I'm not going to do it right now because it takes me a little while. But basically, these high volume nodes right here, I mark them off. Like, I would zoom out a little bit more, so this is not an actual level I'm going to mark, but like, I would mark off right there. I have a little tool that I call scope, and it would mark off the high volume node. So that's how I find my support and resistance levels. All right, let's come back in. Market's open, gang. And we are moving up. I'm not going to be quick to jump in any trades today. I had a couple good trades on gold last night and kind of feeling a little nervous, I guess, about all the news and everything going on, and totally aware of the fact that we have the US-Iran negotiations going on all day. So I'm going to be slow to take a trade today. Aw, Drifter, I missed you guys too. It's good to be back. Good to be back. I don't know if you guys noticed. So I was totally not present in our Discord on, gosh, I don't even know what day it was, Tuesday, whenever he had the surgery, because obviously I was busy. But yesterday, I was kind of just hanging out around the house taking care of him. I didn't want to live stream because, like, I needed to be able to get up and help him whenever needed. But I also was, I wouldn't say bored, like, I had plenty to do, but I was a lot more active in the chat, is what I'm trying to say. I was like, man, I want to get back in trade. It was a good break, though. Honestly, it was a really good break. All right, 15-minute opening range high and low for now. But obviously, we're not even 2 minutes in. So I always have people ask me, like, why don't you use an indicator for the 15-minute high and low? Honestly, I do it to keep my fingers busy with something other than clicking the buy and sell button in the first couple minutes. So I like doing it manually because of that. I know it's silly, but it helps. How is he doing now? Much better. So, he had rotator cuff surgery, and I don't know if any of you guys have had it before. He had a nerve block, which makes his arm feel like totally numb for a little while. And that, he was fine on Tuesday. Wednesday was when the nerve block wore off, and he was feeling rough. Yesterday was a hard day. Even with taking his pain medicine, he was very uncomfortable the whole day. But today he's moving around and feeling better. Thanks for asking. Oh, this is a good question. Have you ever felt like you're on the verge of quitting trading because of a mental struggle and not being able to be consistently profitable? So, how did you get through it? Yes. Actually, I've had that happen many times. A couple things that have gotten me through it. One is I have a very supportive husband. Like, every time I tell him, like, I'm never going to be good at this, I'm never going to make it, I should just quit. He's always like, no, you're a good trader, you're just struggling with this, and maybe you can fix this or work on this or whatever. Like, he believes in me more than I believe in myself sometimes. Also, reminding myself to slow down. Like, I think a lot of times when I'm feeling like that, like I should just quit, I'm never gonna make it, it's because subconsciously I'm trying to, like, get rich quick now, you know? Like, I want to be making X number of dollars and quit my job and, like, do, that ultimate dream goal that you have with trading. Like, I want it to happen now, and it's not happening now, so I'm not being successful. So just reminding myself to be patient. Like, maybe I'm not super profitable right now, but I will be. I just need to slow down and keep focusing on the basics and just getting better every day. Because this, like, the picture, whatever picture you have painted in your mind of what a successful day trader looks like, for me, it's time freedom. Like, I want to be able to sit in front of my computer and trade for like 90 minutes to 2 hours a day and make enough to be able to not have to have a job and basically have a stay-at-home mom schedule. Like, I want to be the PTO mom that volunteers at all of my kids' events and coaches on my kids' teams, and, like, that's my vision of a successful trader. So when I like paint that picture in my head and remind myself that if it doesn't happen today and it happens in a year, I still want it. I'm still okay with it. So that's kind of the long-winded answer to like have someone supportive in your corner, whether that's an accountability buddy or a spouse or a partner or whatever. And then remind yourself that it takes time. It might not happen today, but keep at it. Just getting a little bit better every day. And you'll get there. The biggest thing is not to quit. So that's a nice bounce off of VWAP. I hope someone took that long. I was kind of talking and distracted, but also telling myself that I didn't want to trade in the first 15 minutes. But yeah, it's definitely holding VWAP right there. Let's see if we get some continuation up. If this is going to be a bullish day, previous day high obviously could be a good target and resistance, but up into this red box, like 350s, 25 350s is kind of what I would be thinking. Does he trade too? No, he doesn't currently trade. He has in the past, like used to have an interest in trading like Bitcoin and stuff. But not day trading, more just buy and hold kind of stuff, or maybe swing after a couple months or whatever. What about shorts today? Yeah, for sure. So this green box right here is the level that I shared last night as this is the bounce area. If we're going to have like a super bullish day, that's what I would expect. But if we drop below that, then definitely lots of room to the downside. This would be the next support level. So if we don't hold this level at like 24,950, we have a 300 point drop potential for shorts. Definitely. Which traders were you learning from? So I would say, honestly, a big mix of a ton of traders. Like, I've watched literally thousands of hours of YouTube videos, and I still watch them. I would say Joey Morgan is the one that I've learned the most from in terms of his strategy. I would say I give him the credit for the initial balance strategy that I use. And that's probably one of my favorite strategies. So if you're interested in learning more about the initial balance strategy, failed auctions, all that, check out Joey Morgan. I don't even remember the guy's name. If G-Man's in the chat, he might know. For volume profile. Let me look up on YouTube real quick because it's probably in my like search history. But there's one guy in particular that I watch for volume profile. Other than that, it's just a bunch of random stuff. I'm not seeing the volume profile guy. And I'm not talking about Cami Capital because he does more like scalping, and that's not really my thing. If I find it like later today, I'll let you guys know. Oh, there we go. Trader Dale. I learned a lot from Trader Dale for volume profile. So if you're interested in learning about volume profile, check him out. Other than that, like I said, random. So what I did was I looked at tons of different strategies. Like I looked at RSI videos, volume, trend lines, EMAs, like 2-minute strategies, 5-minute strategies. I watched a bunch of random stuff, and then I found a few things that made sense to me. Like the 15-minute orb made sense. The initial balance made sense, and then volume profile made sense in terms of support and resistance. So once I found a couple that kind of like the light bulb went off, like, oh, that made sense, I started to specifically search for those, like how to day trade using volume profile, or the 15-minute opening range strategy for day trading. And then I would just watch every video I saw on that specific strategy. And if there was something that didn't make sense, like to me, ICT just didn't make sense. Like I didn't understand how they made order blocks, and like, are you supposed to trade from the order block, or I don't know, or the fair value gap, or it just seemed like there were way too much going on. So that didn't make sense. I crossed it off. So that's kind of how I figured out how to trade, I guess. Given that the ceasefire is in serious risk, is it likely to have a bullish day? Honestly, I have stopped trying to figure out the news and how it affects the market, because I feel like the opposite always happens. Like in my brain, logically, it makes sense that if we're at war, or if there's like missiles being launched, then the market should go down, right? But then it goes up. Like, I don't know. I try to not trade the news because it doesn't make sense to me. I just trade my levels. Traveling Trader is an amazing channel. I don't know if I've heard of that one. I'll check it out. Well, that bounce off of VWAP, that was a nice move. I hope someone in the chat took it. Did anyone take a long off of that VWAP bounce right there? That was pretty move. Yeah, I've worn it. This is the second time I've worn it, Gold Rush. Do I keep track of the previous day New York VWAP? Yeah. I'll use it as a target sometimes, like a possible support or resistance level, but I won't like trade off of it unless there's confluence. Yeah, gold is, I was expecting bullish. Like if you guys were hanging out with me pre-market, I was saying that it had this nice little chop. It looked like it was establishing a base, and then it moved off of that. But I was looking for it to maybe come back down and retest VWAP or this little consolidation zone. Never did that. So there she goes. Gold is running. I have 11 notifications on my profile icon. Oh my gosh, I never even look at these things. I don't even know what that is. Normally, alerts bother me. Like, I'm one of those people that when people have a like a mail icon on their phone that shows like 2,400 unread messages. I'm like, oh my gosh, how does that not drive you crazy? But I don't know, I guess I ignore them on TradingView. Probably because I set alerts all the time. Like, that's how I trade. I set an alert so that I can walk away and not stare at the charts all day. So I have alerts going off all the time, which leaves a little notification. So I clear them out every once in a while, but it'll get to the point where I have like 80 notifications. I've trained my brain to not be annoyed by it. Your college email has hundreds of thousands of unread. Well, I mean, if it's like a junk email account, then that's kind of the point of it, right? Is to have a whole bunch of unread messages. All right. This is our 15-minute opening range high. Pretty interesting that it's rejecting a value area high. So if you look at yesterday's New York session range, value area low, point of control, value area high, like this kind of big box that we've been trading in. Oops. That's kind of the range that we're in right now. So if you're a range trader, there you go. You're welcome. Nice little short from that area. So it has not broken out of the 15-minute opening range yet, to the upside or the downside. So far, looking like it might go up, but we also have resistance overhead, so we shall see. Will there be any news releases today? No, all the data news releases were earlier this morning at 8:30 Eastern. So the only thing left on Financial Juice that I have listed that I'm paying attention to is it says all day negotiations between US and Iran. So just keep that in the back of your mind. Like, at any moment, there could be some announcement about something. Good day to size down. Make sure, like, if you're the type of person who doesn't immediately set a stop loss or whatever, definitely do that today. And then be picky with your trades too. And yeah, tomorrow there's lots of stuff. CPI, and then Michigan sentiment, and a couple other things. A bunch at 8:30 and then more at 10 o'clock. So tomorrow would be a big day. Don't be a cat chasing the price laser pointer. Absolutely. I love that analogy. So it looks like it might be trying to hold this anchored VWAP here. Someone was asking me how I anchor it. I'll show you in just a second. So I actually have an indicator from Edgeful that anchors it for me, but it's very easy. So if you have TradingView, come over to the side. Hold on. So on my tools section over here, it's under forecasting. Click on anchored VWAP. I go to the 1 minute chart, so it's a little bit more like on point. And then you just hover over the opening candle, the 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time candle. Click on it and it'll anchor it. So mine's already there. All right, coming down to VWAP. Let's see if it holds. Might consider a long here if it holds. If it drops below, we got a long way down. Long way to go. I'm watching, I'm watching. ES is still holding above VWAP too. Good morning, Waffles. Nope, not holding. It's coming down to that opening range low. And we are going down. Still not a convincing break below the range. But that's the first side of the range that has officially broken. So looks like possibly more downside unless there's like a massive bullish engulfing bounce at this level. So if we're looking for shorts, I would want it to retrace to about the New York Anchor VWAP at like 2563-ish. That's also the midpoint of the range, probably, roughly. Yeah. Roughly. Yeah, if this was going to be a bounce for longs, it's not convincing at this point. That could change, though. Let's see if we get a little pullback to like 2560-ish. Can I please talk about how or what I look for to know if it's retracing or reversing? So I just watched my key levels. So like in this example, watching VWAP and this opening range low, since they're kind of in the same zone. And then I watched the reaction at that level. Like right now it's looking kind of weak. If it was going to be a level that we were just going to like blast off and long from, I would expect more volume, like an increase in volume at that level, which to me means that buyers are defending that level and buying it up quickly. There were like resting orders down there maybe. A bullish engulfing candle that kind of retraces that whole move, like an aggressive move off of that level if I wanted longs. And the fact that it's not doing that makes me think that, okay, we're not holding that level, so maybe there's more downside. So I guess to answer your question, volume and candle formations maybe, or the size of the candle. How do you get instantly funded on Tradeify? You would choose the lightning funded. Like if you want a direct funded account where you don't have to pass the eval and you just go straight to a funded account, that would be the lightning funded. So it is breaking out of the 15-minute opening range low. The way I trade the 15-minute opening range breaks is I wait for a retest. Sometimes that means I miss the move, and I'm okay with that. I'm fully aware of that. But it also means that my win rate is a lot higher. Because more often than not, at least in my back testing, it'll have kind of a fake breakout and then a retrace and then the true move. So let's see what happens up here at 25.60-ish. Maybe something like that. Good morning, Verisat. As you guys are coming in, if you haven't already, hit that like button. Easy way to show your support. It's like giving me a virtual high five. How many people were looking for a break at orb low? What do you mean? Like you're saying that there's people that chase the shorts there and now they're getting stopped out? That's why I don't trade the first breakout. I've gotten eaten up too many times doing that. Anna, so the green area, yeah, it's a big area. That's probably why, because it kind of just hit the tip of the green area. And now that we've had, like, this is a zone that I drew last night. Like, it was back here before any of this price action happened. Like, you can see this chop zone right here. That's why I drew it. And the London low ended up coming all the way down to it and bouncing out of it. So now the reason I wouldn't take a long right off of that initial bounce is because it's kind of the tip of that green zone. And really it could come all the way back down here to like 955. So the risk to reward on that would have been terrible. That's a 59-point stop loss. But I could take a short down to the low. Verisat, what news are you talking about? It looks selly. That's an official trading term. Sell-y. I love it. Yeah, I like the idea of shorts too. I was just hoping it would come back to this New York anchored VWAP level. What's the opposite of sell-y? Buy-y? That doesn't sound as good. Long-y? There we go. Long-y. It's either sell-y or long-y. It's chopping around here. So I'm going to be careful with, like, I'm going to watch how it moves up. If this is like an aggressive, it just shoots up, then I don't think I would short at that 25.50-ish level I was talking about. But if it kind of just slowly like grinds up and looks weak, I would take a short there. Because this could be kind of just chopping around and then getting ready to blast up. What is going on? Why is it just hovering here? Is there news, Verisat? I didn't see anything. We have I don't even know who this is. There's some speaker. IMFMD Georgieva speaks. Who is that? So one thing to be aware of too, the way it's like chopping and kind of trying to hold this level, ES never dropped below VWAP. So like I said before, we'll see how it moves up. Is this kind of a choppy consolidation for a blast off rocket to the upside or a big old dump to the downside? We don't know yet, but I feel like it could be either way. ES is keeping NQ from dumping, yeah. That's one of the things that I'll actually give Waffles credit for that. She mentioned watching ES for confluence. I don't really trade ES, but I definitely keep an eye on it on a different chart because a lot of times they move in sync. And like if I'm watching for a liquidity sweep on NQ and maybe ES hasn't done it yet, then I'll wait. Like it's a nice confluence thing. So this is kind of what I was talking about. If it moves up slowly, I would consider a short. I don't know, that was a pretty aggressive buy up. And the time and sales, we're starting to get some activity. This thing could be going up, you guys. I don't love shorts right here. Bully or berry? Actually, I like that. There you go. Bully or berry. Jack Chin, go to the rules and, I don't know, rules and disclaimer or whatever section. And there's a verification step that I added in there for spammers, to prevent spammers. So that's why you can't write anything. Now it's chopping around between the two VWAPs. Why don't I use moving averages? They're helpful for you. There's a lot of strategies to use with trading. I would say the reason I don't use them is not because there's anything wrong with them. It's just trying to keep trading simple. That's why. No trades for me yet. This is in a spot where I could make an argument for longs and shorts. It looks like it's trying to go down. But it also looks like it's kind of trying to consolidate here and hold. Sugar trade, yes, I do actually. And that's honestly one of my favorite setups, like the fake breakout of the 15-minute opening range and then retest a VWAP and rejection. My concern is that it's holding VWAP-ish. I mean, it's falling below it, but ES is holding. There's not that continuation down. It could totally just dump. I could be wrong, and I could be missing this trade. But it almost looks like it's consolidating to move back up. So I just know myself, like when I am in this spot where I can make arguments for longs and shorts, it's not a good time to trade. Because then I get flip-floppy. I would have taken this short here, but been like, oh, now it's holding and reclaiming VWAPs, and then I would go long, and then I would short when it rejected this VWAP again, and that's when I hit my daily loss limit, because I can make arguments for both. And then I end up taking both and using that reverse button, and that's never a good thing. So I would rather miss the trade and sit out than have that happen. Oh, man. Yep. Going down. Yeah, you're right, Versat. Shorts looked good. Can I explain VWAP? VWAP is volume weighted average price. So it's not like it takes into account how much volume was purchased or sold, how many How much volume of transactions at that price? So I guess a simple way to think of it is it's like the average position, the average agreed upon price right now is like 25.30 for this session since last night's open. So we're trading below the average price right now. First time ever trading a funded account today. Let's go. Congrats. Any tips from eval stage to funded? The biggest thing is be patient. So I know for me, this is what I do because I have a math brain. I start calculating. Like if I make this much per day and if I am green for 5 days, then I can get a payout by like next Tuesday. And I start doing that kind of stuff. And then if I have a red day, I start to rush it because I'm like, well, if I don't do this, then I'm not going to be able to get a payout on Tuesday. So I have to overtrade. And, you know, your mind just starts to spiral and do stupid things. That's me. So be patient. Don't try to rush the payout. If it happens in a month, 2 months, who cares? Don't get caught up in the, like, I have to have 5 days and, you know, all that. Just don't even think about that. Just trade. Just manage your risk, take what the market gives you, and trade. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about, you guys. I would have shorted there. It would have hit my trailing stop loss, probably would have been a break-even trade. And now here, I'm like, oh, that's a bullish engulfing candle. Now I want a long. And then now it's rejecting that New York anchored VWAP. So I'd be like, well, shoot, I'm going to get out, break even trade. And now it's rejecting again. So I would have shorted. Like that's, for me, I know myself. That's the cycle that I would have been in right now. It's a lot better for me to sit out and not trade it. If you guys are doing well with it, more power to you. Let's go. Does the daily loss limit reset at the end of the day or continue next day until you've gotten profit? Can you please explain? The daily loss limit resets at the end of the day. You start back at zero. Like your account balance doesn't reset. But let's say like the Lucid 50K Pro account has a $1,200 daily loss limit, but there's a $2,000 limit on it, like a total loss limit. So if you lose $1,200 on your first day, at the start of the next trading session, it'll go back to where you can trade again, but then you'll have $800 left. So it doesn't totally reset, if that's what you're saying. I hope I explained that well and answered your question. I lost your comment. There was someone asking about Asia and London session. Man, it's hard to keep up with all the comments. There's lots of people in the chat right now. I love it. Do I ever give Asia London market to help with your bias of the day? Do I ever use it? Yes, absolutely. Like last night, if you saw the levels that I posted in the Discord, this green box was back here. And I was saying, like, this was a zone that I was watching to hold. And this was the London session right here. The London session held it. Obviously, we're dumping back into it now. But that kind of made me think that, like, if we're going to hold here, longs are the way to go. So, yeah, I definitely use the overnight session to kind of get an idea. Like maybe it swept liquidity at a certain level or bounced off of a key level or rejected a key level. I take all that into account. I have a different strategy for gold, Anna. I mean, I use the same like support and resistance, volume profile and stuff, and I use VWAP. But I actually do use fibs with gold, which is weird because I don't really at all with NQ. I shouldn't say at all. I use it to find out where the midpoint of the range is. But yeah, I have a video on it I put out maybe a month ago or so. It's called like my Asia gold trading strategy. Go check it out. Counting eggs before they hatch messes with your head. 100%. I still do it. Like, I think I just naturally have a math brain. Like, I'm always calculating stuff. All right. A little insight into, like, the psycho numbersness mess in my head. Like, I count steps. Like, every time I walk up a staircase, I'm counting steps. When I put something in the microwave, I can't just put it in for 1 minute. I put it in for like 107 or 42 seconds. Like I have weird things with numbers, all right? I know, I'm a little bit crazy. But I don't know how to turn off that whole thing of like counting the eggs before they hatch. So I just have to be really aware of it and then like make myself shut up and think about something else. It's almost like a meditation thing I have to do. Like when I start to think about all that, like if I do this, if I do XYZ, I'm going to get a payout on this day, and I'm already thinking about depositing that money into my bank account, then I have to like do some meditation and silence my brain and redirect my focus to something else. Ah, carry trades. I'm sorry, man. It happens. I can't say anything to make you feel better because I know it sucks in the moment. The biggest thing I can say is use that as a learning experience. The only time that I say that a blown account is a waste is if you don't learn anything from it. If you do learn something from it, then it's just market tuition paid for that lesson learned. I'll just live vicariously through Verisat and his awesome short that he's in right now. So max drawdown, end of day, $600 daily loss. So today, loss of 300. Come tomorrow and the daily reset to 600, but the max drawdown will be 700 until profit. Yes, that's right. Cameron, sorry if I'm saying it wrong. But yeah, what you explained is correct. And I don't use the value areas and point of control and stuff on gold. I haven't found that they work quite as well. OCD? I don't know. Maybe. I haven't been diagnosed. If I am, then it's functional. I'm not crazy. Maybe a little bit, but it doesn't like affect my daily living. Well, at this point, I'm going to watch and see what happens down here at this London low. If we get a bounce there, could be a good long opportunity. Some of the smartest people have this, yeah. It keeps my brain busy. And my husband thinks it's funny. He'll ask me randomly, like if we're, I don't know, walking in a building or something and we just walked up a staircase, he'll be like, how many stairs were there? I'll be like, shut up. Oh man, I'm on the 15-minute chart and it's not moving. If you go to the 1 minute, you can see that it's just like chopping. We have 7 minutes until our initial balance is set. What kind of setups do we have? Potential. So possible like double liquidity grab. If you guys have been following me for a while, you know that I like that. That's one of my favorite setups is like an initial balance failed auction double liquidity grab. So that would mean if, let me find my little drawing tool. If we like chopped around here for a little while, maybe came up to VWAP and rejected, and like the market kind of put us to sleep here for a bit without touching that initial balance low. And then, 20 minutes from now or whatever, I'm not going to put an exact time on it. But then it came down and it grabbed the initial balance low and the London low liquidity and then just skyrocketed up. That would be a long that I would love to take. Don't know if it's going to happen, but if it does, I'll be ready for it. Those are the kind of trades that I set alerts for. Because if I just sit here and watch that potential chop like I talked about for the next 20 minutes, that's when I blow accounts. And I try to long and short every candle. But if I wait and set an alert for like initial balance low, and that tells me to come watch price and how it reacts, that's when I get the best trades. Which strategy has the highest win rate? all of my liquidity sweeps. So that could be initial balance, failed auction, or like an Asia low, Asia high, that kind of stuff. London low, London high, liquidity sweeps. Those are definitely the best risk to reward and win rate. Go journal, Alan Fridman. Go look back at what trades you took. Were they a part of your strategy? If they were, then okay, you can't be upset about that. If they were not a part of your strategy, then why did you take them? Were you chasing? Were you bored? Kind of figure out what happened. And then do that same thing daily. Like if you have another losing day tomorrow and the same thing happened, you took a board trade or you chased or FOMO or whatever, like when you notice those patterns show up, then you know that's the thing that I need to implement a rule around or figure out. Like for me, the reason I stop these live streams after like an hour and a half to 2 hours max is because I know if I sit in front of the computer and I stare at every single candle, I start chasing trades and I find something. I find a trade. It's not going to be a good trade, but I start to force trades. So what I do is I set alerts and I walk away and come back when an actual level has hit. And the only reason I found that out is because over and over, I found that at like 2 hours after the open, if there wasn't a good trade, I was taking a trade and I would take a loss because I was bored or I was anxious or whatever emotion you want to put in there. I wouldn't have known that if I didn't journal it and figure out what my patterns were. So that's why I talk to you guys about emotional journaling so much. Like, yeah, journal your strategy, figure out what your win rate is, figure out your P&L, all that. That's fun. But I personally think emotional journaling is just as important, if not more, to figure out what your like habits as a trader are, your bad habits, so you can fix them. Anna, what I would do is wait to see how it reacts at that level. The way I trade, I personally don't set limit orders for a level because knowing NQ and knowing the news right now, it could just completely dump through this level and drop by like 300 points down to this level down here. So I would wait. I usually zoom into the 1 minute on liquidity sweeps and I watch and see if we have an increase in volume and an engulfing candle. All right, Alan Fridman, have a good day. All right, our initial balance is officially set, so let's see if that double liquidity grab thing that I was talking about happens. Gold Rush, I appreciate the support. Thank you. Have a good one. Verisat still in his short. Nice. You said you got in at 32, right? Nice trade. Do I believe the data where only 1% of traders become profitable? I've heard 5%, 1%, like people say 90% of people fail. I don't know if there's official data, but yeah, absolutely. I would say most people fail. But I would also say that most people fail because they don't try very hard. I don't have data to back this up or a study to like give you, but I would say most of those people probably just had a couple $1,000s that they threw into an account and they tried trading once and they blew it all in a couple of days and then they never tried again. But I would say the win rate is probably a lot better for the people who do it right. And I would say there's a lot of different ways to do it right, but like actually try to be a professional trader. Study, practice, journal, take notes, track your stats, fix your mistakes, like treat it like a business. If you actually do that and treat it like a business that you're not going to be profitable in the first month or even the first year, like having this be something that you treat like trying to become a professional basketball player or piano player or something, like knowing that it's going to take a long time to perfect this craft, but I can't just show up for like a pickup basketball game and expect to get rich. You need to actually practice. And the things that you suck at, do them more. I think if you were to look at the stats of those people and how successful they are with trading, it would go up a lot. Like, I don't have a stat to give you, but I would say the win rate or success rate for those people is probably through the roof. I think that being a successful trader is absolutely possible. You just can't treat it like a gambling thing where you throw a couple $1,000s into the market, you go all in on a leveraged long, and you get rich tomorrow. If that's your mindset, you're going to fail. Am I looking for a long at yesterday's low? I'm going to watch and see how it reacts at London low. And if we don't get a nice buy up there, then I would look for a retrace and maybe try short. But right now we're not getting a whole lot of action. I'm not a big fan of like trading news and blaming the market on news. But the fact that Financial Juice still has that thing up that says US and Iran negotiations are happening all day, I kind of wonder if the market's just waiting for that, you know? Starting to come down. Let's see if we get a reaction at this London low. Liquidity sweep. Amazon trades, you're still short and targeting the London low. Yeah, I think you'll get it. You thought negotiations were tomorrow. I'm not sure. I'm just looking at Financial Juice, and on the calendar they have it listed for today. It says US Iran negotiations all day. Well, is it not going to come down to that London low? That was a pretty big candle. Yeah, the initial balance low is holding for now, but we're not getting a strong buy up off of it. This is kind of, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it does a lot. That's kind of what I was drawing out for you guys earlier, where it chops and kind of just puts people to sleep for a little bit. It's almost like it's establishing kind of a foundation a little bit. And that's a perfect setup for it to come down, grab this initial balance liquidity plus the overnight London low liquidity, and then just rocket to the upside. But again, with possible US Iran negotiations, it could also dump if they say, no, the ceasefire's off and we're going to war. I don't know. But I feel like it's setting up perfectly for them to be like, all right, we're making peace. And then it just shoots up a whole bunch. For me, this is a good time to zoom out to the 5-minute. Or zoom out in general. Nice trade, Verisat. If it bounces off of London low, what would my target be? Yeah, probably somewhere around VWAP. And honestly, that it depends. Like, if it just launches to the moon and it looks like it's going to go higher, then I might target like a 50% retracement or something. So I would throw on these retracements. So the yellow line is 25%, the gray line is 50%, and then this one would obviously be 75%. So we could look at the 50% retracement. I can also look at where the point of control is. So that's where I would target then. Look at this box right here. Lots of confluence there. So that's the 50% retracement. That's the current point of control. And then we have the New York anchored VWAP and the session VWAP all in that area. So if we took a long, that would be a good spot to target. Not a good time to chase. Choppy little range. Yeah, 8 cylinders of life. That's what I'm thinking too. This one candle right here at 9:37 Central, 10:37 Eastern. That was a decent, like, higher volume engulfing candle, but it didn't really go anywhere. As soon as I say that, there it goes. Goodness. Well, if you guys haven't already, go hit that like button. We got like 160 of you in here, 91 likes. I think I'm going to call it on the stream because now I'm getting to the point where I'm like looking for a trade. We could reject from this VWAP and then come back down and aim for London low. But really, I think what I'm going to do is set an alert down here at initial balance low and watch and see what happens at this area, IB low and London low. See if we get a long there, like a good liquidity grab sweep. So yeah, that's my plan. I'm going to set some alerts, hop off. I'll be active in Discord if I do end up taking any trades. Otherwise, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good one, you guys. Thanks for coming and hanging out. It's good to be back. Take care.